I think my cousin will be fine. She knows what she likes, and she told me she has enough money. I hope so. We've been trying to shift some of those musty old kimonos for a while. They just take up space. So, if you don't want a discount, what do you want? I was thinking about buying a present for my younger sister. Not another kimono? No, I couldn't afford it anyway. I was thinking more like jewelry or maybe a hairpin. Something she would wear when she goes out for our New Year's shrine visit. What sort of accessories does your sister like? Oh, I don't know, flashy things. She's obsessed with Tokyo fashion. Not since she's ever been there. We do have some rather flashy jewelry here. We keep the best pieces locked away behind the counter. There's a really lovely pair of earrings, inlaid with real diamonds. I can get them out for you if you want. Diamonds. Well, I have no doubt Otoko would love a pair of diamond earrings, no matter how old they might be. My wallet certainly wouldn't. The thought of it is enough to make me sweat. I don't think I can afford real diamonds. That's way out of my price range. I don't think Otoko is worth that much either. I know you can't put a price on family, but I do want to repair my relationship with my sister, but come on, let's be practical here. I'm just a poor student, and I spent all my money on frivolous gifts, but you're completely broke. I don't want to live on instant noodles for the foreseeable future. Oh. The shopkeeper sighs. She looks a bit deflated. Well, what sort of price range are we looking at? I don't have much more than 20,000 yen. The shopkeeper wrinkles her brow. All her earlier energy has completely dissipated. That isn't very much. It isn't? Now when it comes to antique jewelry, we have some very expensive pieces in our collection. There isn't much that goes for under 20,000 yen, unless you want to give your sister something made of coral. Coral's pretty cheap. I don't think that would suit my sister's taste. Well then, jewelry might be out of the question, but you mentioned hairpins? Yeah, that's right. She doesn't like wearing kimonos, but I thought she might want something pretty to put in her hair. Well, if that's the case, come with me. The shopkeeper abandons her post behind the counter and gestures me to follow her with one long manicured nail. I obey soundlessly. She leads me to a shelf. And gestures at a collection of pieces on display. There behind the glass are a series of metallic hairpins of varying lengths. Their tops tipped with small balls. The longest is around 18 centimeters, while the shortest is only 9. This is a collection of hairpins. They come as a set, 5 for 1, so they're a real bargain. These date back to the 1920s, and they are not in the best condition, but this one here is made with jade, and this is topaz. If they weren't so scuffed, they would be rather expensive. I looked at the series of hairpins. True to the shopkeeper's words, they're not in the best conditions, but the little balls that shimmer at the end of these pins look expensive enough. Small drops of jade and topaz. Real precious stones. I don't think Otoko owns anything quite this luxurious. There's just one question. How much are they? I'm glad you asked. The shopkeeper flashes me a smile that would put a fox to shame. They're 18,000 yen. 18,000? We said you had 20,000, bitch. Take them or leave them. You won't find anything so high quality for such a low price. I wince. The thought of parting with that much money in one fell swoop is painful, but if it can improve my relationship with Otoko, then maybe it's worth it. I hope it's worth it. Otherwise, I really will look like a fool. I'm much too nice for my own good. This is really delicious. I think we're cutting to later. He's out with Umeko, and they're having desserts, I guess. My grandmother smiles blithely, cupping her cheek with one hand as she lets the vanilla ice cream melt across her tongue. I watch her over the rim of my coffee cup as I take a sip. After we finish shopping, we decided to go to a small cafe to sit down and relax. Or to be more precise, my grandmother decided to go to a small cafe to sit down and relax. I just tagged along because what other choice did I have? This isn't the same cafe my grandmother used to frequent with my grandfather, however. Unlike the homey parsley cafe of my grandmother's memories, this cafe is relatively new, though. When I say new, it should be taken with a pinch of salt. In Tokyo, buildings are constructed every day, far more than one could ever count. But in my sleepy corner of the world, what constitutes as new or novel is a little different. It's been a while, but I have vague memories of this place and its flower-shaped tabletops. I think my parents took me to Tokyo here a few times when we were kids. If my memories can be trusted, and I think they can, I hope I don't have dementia just yet, this place must be at least a decade old. I don't think my grandmother's been here before though, and it stands to reason that she wouldn't have. This cafe is obviously intended for youngsters, and the decor is a little more modern than that of other stores in my town. Unlike the other cafes, this place doesn't serve as traditional Japanese snacks and green tea. Green tea is still listed on the menu, of course, but most people come here for the coffee and the cakes. The cakes are all distinctly Western themed: cheesecake, carrot cake, and chocolate gâteau. They even carry a strawberry tarts, marron glasses, and little macaroons. Oh my god, I'm getting sleepy. I better stop after this video. Keep it a little bit short. The cakes and pastries are arranged neatly behind the counter. The strawberries on the fruit tarts glisten beneath the bright lights, and the thick slices of chocolate cake have been sprinkled liberally with curls of white chocolate and cocoa powder. Delicious though the cakes look, my grandmother decided to pass them by. She said the cake was too heavy, and she wanted to watch her figure. It's been changing far too much lately. And with that, she settled on a fruit parfait instead. My grandmother said the parfait was a light snack, but it's quite a formidable amount of ice cream. Are you sure you'll be able to eat all that? Oh, you. Don't be so stuffy. You only live once. I know, but I don't want you to regret it later. That's very kind of you, dear, but you're forgetting something. What? I have been alive for more than 80 years. I think I know my own body better than you do. Shut down. My grandmother pauses and glances down at her brand new body with its smooth skin and slender, shapely fingers. Well, maybe not this body. It's been a while since I looked like this. Whatever you say. Just don't make yourself sick. Oh, you. What? I'm just enjoying myself. People always talk to us elderly like we're children, but we're much more knowledgeable about the world than you like to give us credit for. My face flushes a little from the shame. But my mother said it lightly, with a small smile on her lips. I rather think she just scolded me. I dipped my head, setting my coffee cup back on my saucer with a soft clink. I'm sorry. No need to apologize. There's no harm done. Now I'm going to enjoy my parfait. All of it? All of it. My grandmother looks at me slyly from beneath her eyelashes. Unless you'd like to try a bite. No thanks, I'm good. Sharing a parfait with a pretty girl might sound like an attractive idea, but that's only if it's said girl isn't your grandmother. That ruins the fantasy somewhat. I like a lot of this dialogue like that, little funny one-liners. Oh, well, suit yourself. All the more for me. My grandmother dips her spoon into the parfait and brings it to her lips. It's delicious. I'll take your word for it. I take another sip of my black coffee. My grandmother watches me curiously. Are you really sure you want a bite to eat, you? It's my treat, since you've been such a good boy. Oh no, you don't. What do you mean? This is my treat, because you've always looked out for me. I don't mind paying. That's nice of you, dear, but you spent quite enough on your sister already. I don't want to strain your finances any further. Well... I shift in my seat. My leg brushes against the plastic bag lying beneath my chair, which rustles. Though the pins I bought were rather tiny, the shopkeeper at Tamayura didn't have any suitably small bags to stash it away in. I had to settle for a large, bulky bag instead. My grandmother's kimono and obi rest in the same plastic bag beneath her chair, folded neatly so they don't get creased. The pins were expensive, I guess, but nothing. You're a poor student, you, and I don't want you living on instant noodles for the next month. Ugh. How did she know I was worrying about the exact same thing? Because that's what all students worry about. Now, stop being silly. I want you to pay for you. You're my grandson, and I still haven't had a chance to spoil you for a while. I don't really like being pampered. I've been living on my own for several months, and I'm capable of looking after myself now. At least that's what I'd like to tell myself, but how can I turn down my grandmother's kindness when she looks so earnest? In the end, all I can do is acquiesce, sighing in defeat as I do so. Acquiesce is a $5 word that I actually knew. That's kind of somewhat commonly used, right? Acquiesce being given. All right, if it'll make you happy, you can do what you want. Very good. That's the spirit. My grandmother nods her head, her braids bouncing. Her smile is so bright it's almost dazzling. I'm not sure why she looks so happy when all I did was allow her the grand honor of spending money on me. But I guess my grandmother is the kind of woman who likes looking after others. I do wonder if that's why she brought Lisette from that specialty doll shop in France. Is it because she wanted a little girl to spoil? It's a shame she ended up with my dad instead. My dad sounds like he was a regular menace in his youth. He certainly didn't like being fussed over, and he was forever darting around with a dirty face and bruises on his knees. If my grandmother wanted to dote on me while she can, I should let her. It won't do any damage, and I didn't buy anything expensive. Letting a woman pay for my drink seems a little bit ungentlemanly, but this isn't any woman. No matter how young she looks, she's still my grandmother, and this is only a cup of coffee. I guess this isn't such a huge indignity to suffer. Now, my grandmother glances at the displays of cakes with a twinkle in her eyes. I can hardly treat you when all you bought is a coffee, can I? Jeez, I guess I should have seen this coming. I don't really want anything else. Nonsense! You're a growing boy. But I'm not a big fan of sweets. You might not be, but I am. We've come to a nice little cafe, and I want to see all the cakes and pastries they have to offer. Otherwise, it would seem like a waste. So you just want to satisfy your own curiosity. More or less. So much for wanting to dote on her only grandson. How shameless. I can afford to be shameless every once in a while. It's fun. I guess if my grandmother wants to order more food to cover our table and pretty decorations, I can't complain too much. It's her money she'll be spending, not mine. Plus, if I had my own snack to pick at, it would make the situation less awkward. One young boy, one young girl, and one parfait in the middle of the table. What are people going to think? Of course it looks like a date. The waitress gave us a knowing smile and a wink when she brought the parfait to our table, as though she expected us to start exchanging bites of ice cream and indirect kisses in front of everyone. Indirect. I love how they call it indirect kisses. I don't actually know exactly what that means, but I think he's suggesting that when they're both eating the ice cream, it's indirect kisses. If you want to spend money on me so badly, then what I used to have when I came here with my parents in Otoko. What should I choose? Is there anything you're craving, you? Cheesecake? Chocolate cake? A chocolate roll? That sounds too rich for me. And the slices of cake here are so big. I've eaten out too much in Tokyo over the last year. I have to try to shed some of this excess weight, or Tokyo will never stop teasing me. Maybe a lemon bar? That seems like the healthiest option. My grandmother, however, doesn't look particularly happy with my choice. She pouts like a little kid and folds her arms across her chest. That's not very exciting, you. Live a little. I'm living it funny as it is. Thank you very much. Oh, alright, very well. I see you can't be budged. One lemon bar it is. Thank you. Goodness. My grandmother smiles and shakes her head. You've always been such a funny little boy. Contrarian, some might say. My Kaname was the same. How is wanting a lemon bar contrarian? Well, my grandmother doesn't elaborate on this point. Instead, she calls a waitress over and appends the lemon bar onto our order. The waitress nods her head and jots my order down in her notepad, but she gives me a funny look as she does so. Maybe she's wondering why I'm making my girlfriend order on my behalf, and if she is, I can't exactly fault her for it, as much as I'd like to. This cafe is popular with younger people, including couples. There are several couples sitting in the circular tables about us, sharing parfaits and looking at one another wistfully. Me and my grandmother must look just like them. I groan. What's wrong, dear? Nothing. Explaining it would be far too embarrassing. Are you sure it's nothing? You're not regretting your order, are you? Do you want to try a piece of caramel shortbread instead? Or maybe something with a bit more chocolate? She's trying to sound concerned, but she looks so hopeful. Her true intentions are immediately obvious. You're so transparent. What do you mean? If you want to try the caramel shortbread that badly, why don't you just order it for yourself? Oh no, I couldn't possibly. I have to eat all my parfait. Yes, well, go and do it then. Don't let me stop you. You... My grandmother pouts. You're acting so prickly. No, I'm not. Yes, you are. You're being so harsh. But it's alright. Your dear grandma loves you all the same. In fact, I love you so much I need to teach you a lesson. Oh shit. So saying, my grandmother kicks me underneath the table and sticks out her tongue. I glare at her. Oh my god. This is Otoko. She's just like Otoko. And what's that supposed to teach me? That you should respect your elders. I fold my arms across my chest and try to ignore the smarting in my thigh. My grandmother has always been a mischievous woman, and she likes playing pranks on people. Her body might have reverted to that of the teenage years, but her mind is just the same as ever. In fact, I think she's even worse now. It's a miracle I've been able to survive this long. What trials and tribulations will I be put through next? It's been such a long time since I came to this place. The door opens with a thud. The bell rings, signaling the arrival of another customer. Gonna be Otoko, right? It's gotta be Otoko. 2 customers, in fact. Oh, it's Otoko and her friend. One is a girl with curly honey brown hair, obviously dyed. Her darker roots are starting to show through next to the top of her head. Have I seen her before already? I sort of thought maybe I had. Is that the daughter of the woman at the bus stop? The other girl has dark, straight hair, very long fingernails, and a small scowl on her face. I can see clearly it's Otoko. You don't have to describe it to me. I know that scowl. I know that girl. I know... This place is kind of shabby, but they should have hit Otoko for until that moment. That would have been better. This place is kind of shabby, but it's the best we have around here. At least the parfaits are pretty good. I'll take your word for it, Amiri. I think that's the daughter of the bus driver, if I remember correctly. I've never been here before. I wanted Dad to take me when I was a kid, but he always said no. He told me places like this are a blight on our historical village. Living with your dad sounds like a huge pain in the ass on me. Tell me about it. Dad's so melodramatic. I can't wait until I can move out. I want to move as far away from this place as possible. Same here. It's like nothing here. Absolutely nothing. It pisses me off that my little stupid brother gets to go off to Tokyo and he doesn't even realize what a huge opportunity he has. Sorry, I can't stop coughing. I threw out my voice trying to do the Otoko yelling. It's like he doesn't even care. Meanwhile, I'm stuck here. I feel like I'm dying. Yu's like so insensitive. I know, right? He's so wrapped up in himself, he doesn't... Otoko pauses. She looks at me, her heavily made up eyes narrowing. Thanks to the large amount of mascara she's always wearing, when she narrows her eyes, they narrow most impressively. There's nothing more threatening in this world. Oh, Jesus, I need to stop playing. Because I'm sleepy and I'm coughing my lungs out. This is a bad Let's Play. This is going so badly. I'm just gonna freeze the thing for a second while I cough for a little bit. Can you hear the hip-hop music playing in the background? It's a little bit loud. I'm gonna close my window. Maybe I should even turn the fan on. Maybe the fan will tone it down a little bit. Yeah, I think a fan helps. The music's not bad, it's just interfering with my Let's Play. Yeah, loud music being played outside my house. I close the window, turn the fan on, and fan also helps with the heat. Let's just take a moment to readjust. That was a disaster. I'm falling asleep, which is part of the problem. And then the other half of it is that I'm fucking up this Let's Play with all the coughing. Just trying to do the voices is like, especially Otoko. I'm excited also. I think I'm a little excited that Otoko's back. I was getting kind of bored without her. She's great. She's like the life of this game. Otoko's back. Life is good. Let's do this. There's nothing more threatening in the world than Otoko's glares. She really puts her all into them. You. She all but hisses my name, like it's some kind of contagious disease. What are you doing here? I sigh. Is that really the greeting I deserve? Being an older brother is so depressing. Hey there, Otoko. That's Otome to you! Sorry. Hi, Otome. And hi, Amiri. Nakamura Amiri, Mr. Nakamura's daughter. Right, see, I remembered her. Looks at me with mistrustful eyes. She doesn't wear quite as much makeup as Otoko, and it isn't as expertly applied, so her sideways glance is a little lacking in outright malice, but it's still frosty enough. The temperature in this cafe seems to have dropped a good 5 degrees. Why are you in town, you? I thought you were meant to be visiting Grandma. That's what you said. She raises a good point. How can I talk myself out of this, my way out of this one? I know that's what I said, but... oh jeez, I'm coughing again. Were you lying to me? I wasn't lying. I did go see Grandma, but... if you really want to see our darling grandmother, then who is this? Otoko gestures toward our grandmother, who obviously she doesn't recognize. I've never seen her before. Well... I guess the whole "she's my cousin" line I used to the shopkeeper at the antique store won't work here. Otoko is my little sister, and she knows just as well as I do that we don't have any cousins who look like this. How funny. Oh sorry, I was reading, it's Otoko's voice. How funny. Otoko's already figured out that must be his girlfriend. Otoko peers at our grandmother curiously. I swear I haven't met her before, but she does look a little familiar. Of course she looks familiar. She's our own grandmother. Though she's changed quite a bit from the woman she used to be with her wrinkled neck and her trembling spider-like hands. She's still our flesh and blood. She has a little bit of Otoko about her, actually. They have the same nose, similar mouths. Yeah, I'm seeing it. Yeah, you can see it. And strikingly dark eyes, both Otoko and I possess. Huh? Do you know her? I don't know. Well, I don't think she lives around here. Dad knows like everyone who lives around here. He's such a busybody. I turned the fan off because the music stopped outside. He can't help but knowing everybody. He's a bus driver. Secretly, however, I agree with Amiri's assessment. I do think Mr. Nakamura is a bit of a busybody. The embarrassing questions he asked me earlier didn't help in this case. I think she's kind of cute. Her clothes are a little old-fashioned though. My grandmother ducks her head, pressing a hand against her mouth. I think she's trying not to laugh, but Amira obviously interprets her silence as shyness. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to, offend you. Though Amira looks like the kind of girl who goes to parties every other day, she isn't. I know because she's my little sister's friend, and she spends most of her teenage years at our house watching talent shows on TV with Otoko. Amiri, despite her sharp makeup and her it says shaper, but I'm sure it means sharper tongue, is actually something of a sweetheart. She's nicer to me than Otoko is. Then again, most people are nicer to me than Otoko is. Oh, it's no worries. It's nice to meet you. You too. Please, this isn't the time for "it's very nice to meet you." It isn't? I was just trying to be polite. There's something seriously wrong here. Who is this girl, you? And why are you keeping her a secret? Well, the thing is, I'm one of Yu's friends from university. He invited me over during the winter holidays, and I've always wanted to see the countryside. You mean, you come from Tokyo? That's right. Wow, so cool. Amiri's looking at my grandmother with such awe that you think she's the second coming of Christ. People who hail from the city are regarded as a superior species around these parts. Particularly amongst girls like Amiri and Otoko, who follow fashion magazines with religious zeal and make a point of ordering all their clothes and shoes online. But even if you say that, you don't sound like you come from Tokyo. What do you mean, dear? Your accent isn't right. Amiri is sharper than she looks. She's managed to out-sleuth her own father in only a matter of seconds. Then again, it's natural Amiri would be able to tell the difference. She and Otoko were forever talking about TV dramas set in the city, from what I can remember. It's true, too. People from the city really do talk differently than people from tiny towns like ours. Oh well, maybe I picked it up from talking to you so much. So, you talk to you a lot? That's right. Otoko's lips pursed together. She doesn't look convinced. I don't mind if you want to hang out with your girlfriend, you, though I can hardly believe a loser like you managed to get a girlfriend in the first place. But you shouldn't lie about it. Don't say you're going to visit Grandma when you're going to hang out with her instead. It's like you think I'm stupid or something. Yeah, if we're meeting somebody from Tokyo, you should have said. That's like common courtesy. I'm sorry, sometimes my youth gets a little bit carried away. He can be so rash. Rash. Oh, she's confirming that she's his girlfriend. That's not the word I would use. He's totally thoughtless. Hey now, don't you think you're being unfair? I'm not being unfair. You're the one who's unfair. You're treating me like a moron and trying to keep secrets. I wasn't keeping a secret. Then why are you with this girl? Why do you even care? I didn't think you'd have any interest in my personal life. You act like you can't stand being around me half the time. I don't have any interest in your life, but I don't appreciate being lied to either. My fingers, which are resting on my lap beneath the table, started to clench. I'm getting riled up despite myself. I want to remain calm and level-headed, but that's a Herculean task when I'm with Otoko. She has a way of glaring at me like I'm nothing more than a piece of trash on a street corner. She doesn't even look me in the eyes when we speak. Not properly. It's like she can't bear to be in the same room with me. Why do you always have to blow things out of proportion? You just want to be angry for the sake of being angry. I get that you don't like me, and we've never gotten along, but you don't need to turn everything into such a drama. I shouldn't need to ask your permission before I talk to another girl, Otoko. I don't see how it has anything to do with you. It has everything to do with me. We're family, and family shouldn't keep secrets like this. Like you care. Why don't you just... What? Why don't I just what, you? I opened my mouth ready to retort with something stupid and hurtful, and not entirely well thought out through when... You! My grandmother rests a restraining hand on my shoulder. That's enough. I blink. The red haze fades from my vision. Slowly, I'm pulled back into reality. But I can't call reality all that welcoming. My new reality is cold, prickly, and unpleasant. My grandmother's fruit parfait is slowly melting. All the patrons of this cafe are glaring at me. I sigh. I don't like being at the center of attention. It makes me feel awkward and uncomfortable. I'm sorry, Otoko. I didn't mean it like that. I was just... Oh no, you meant every word you said, you. I can tell. You're not very good at lying. She glares at our grandmother. At least I never thought you were. Otoko. It's Otome. And I don't want to waste any more time on you. Not if you can't even remember my name. Let's go, Amiri. Right, yeah. Let's go. I don't want to stay here anyway. It's like really plain and tacky. Totally. And as for the kind of people who come here, Otoko glances at me. The less said about them, the better. And with that, Amiri and Otoko take their leave. Oh, that was harsh. That was brutal. The door thuds behind them. Otoko isn't the kind of person who minds her manners, and the bell rings. In their absence, the cafe suddenly seems a lot quieter. Maybe it's because everyone's still watching us. I stare into my cup of black coffee. My reflection stares back at me. It looks as tired as I feel. My grandmother's cafe has... Can you really see a reflection in black coffee? I don't think you can. I'm going to check that out, though, because I'm curious. My grandmother's parfait has melted into a lukewarm puddle of fruit-flecked sludge at the bottom of her glass, and my coffee's stone cold. Fantastic. I sighed deeply. And I even went out of my way to buy a present for Atoka too. I just wanted us to get along a little better. So much for that wish. After that dramatic incident in the cafe, all the fun seems to vanish from my shopping trip with my grandmother. Alright, I gotta stop here, guys. I'm too sleepy. I just barely made it through that scene. Yo. Alright. Things are heating up. As much as things will heat up in a story like this. I'm looking forward to finishing this. I don't think it's gonna be that much longer. But I mean, it doesn't really feel like we've gotten to the end. But I think I think it's gonna be short. From my memory of having read about this, but who knows? Maybe this ways to go before we finish. Anyway, that's all for this one. See y'all next time. Looking forward to doing some more Winter's Daydream. Yep. See you the next let's play, shall we? I downed my cooled coffee in one gulp and consumed my lemon bar in 2 bites. As it turns out, the second bite is a bit too big for me to manage, and I choke. My grandmother has to reach across the table and pat me on the back, which is more than a little embarrassing. That's real cough.